Your character.
My character's up, yeah. I'm here, guys.
Well, your character's like in a wormhole. So
nobody knows.
What's going on?
Where,
if you say anything?
Where is he? Man, what a confusing twist at the end.
Yeah, it is confusing. Oh man.
But I'm here, so something's up.
Yeah, something is up.
What are you, I know you know there's snipers all around, but what can you tell us he's about? What his fate? How soon we might see him again?
I've been given very little
that
I'm allowed to say, and I also know very little because we're only 2 scripts in so far, and we just started shooting. So there's another 21 scripts to come to help us find out what happens too. So I'm excited to find out, but I can't say that the way that Mon-El comes back into the storyline and what that brings to the show. It's very exciting. I'm super pumped about it. I think fans will really like the dimension that it adds to the show and the conflict. So I'm excited. That's kind of all I can say.
Your fans in Brazil said hi. They love the show.
Brazil.
They love you, and they love the character's sense of humor. So what do you like? Yeah, what do you like the most about your character?
I love the fact that Mon-El, for all of his flaws, especially when we met him, coming in with such a narrow-minded outlook and frustratingly shortcoming on being understanding and tolerant. Having that paired with someone who's lighthearted by nature, so that you sort of don't. At least for me, I resonate with the fact that he's sort of like a puppy dog, and he doesn't mean any harm. He doesn't really know what he's doing. He grew up in this world, and this is what he was told was what was out there. And if you live in a box your whole life, you think that the walls of the box is it. And all of a sudden, everything went down, and he was like, "Oh my God, it's like a kid in the candy store." And he sort of went a little nuts for a second, but he had Kara to sort of guide him and help steer him on the path. And I love that part of him. I love that he's a flawed character who handles life with a smile. And it lets him sort of survive in a buoyant way all these things that some other people might sort of be brought back and even turn bad. Some of the qualities he had could have made him evil, but because he's light as a human, I think it keeps him on the hero side.
Given where he ended up at the end of season 2, the development you kind of just talked about, where would you like to see Mon-El go in season 3? What are some areas you could see him grow even more in?
Well, so I mean, that was the coolest part of the first season was, he started as one of the more selfish characters on the show, and as the most selfish character, and he ends making the ultimate self-sacrifice, and that's a really cool journey. And season 2, the season 3 with Mon-El, I would hope to see that sort of pressed on, and now that he's arrived in a state where he's actually finally shed all of that baggage that was making him focus on himself instead of others, I would love to see that leaned on and watch how he begins to carry that torch on his own, and not because Kara is telling him this is how we do it. And the inherent conflict that comes with that, of someone becoming themselves when they've been in the shadow of a mentor for so long. So I would hope that would become sort of the story.
Thank you.
Would you like to have your own costume, and is there any character you want to meet in the crossover?
I mean, Mon-El better end up with a costume at some point, or else what's he doing this for? He said himself he wants a cape. I mean, crossover-wise, I love working with Grant. He's a friend of mine from college, and it's cool that we ended up crossing paths in this weird way on these shows. So I love doing that. So, yeah.
So in the comics, you're connected to the Legion of Superheroes. Would you like to see that for Mon-El in the show?
I mean, the Legion's pretty badass. And it is sort of an untapped gold mine of stories. I don't think that's really been told, so I'd be thrilled by that. and anything to do with the Mon-El from the comics, because that's not who we've seen yet. We saw this sort of this new version of Mon-El, which is him developing into who we actually know in the comics. So I'd love to see any version of the comic book Mon-El. And we might. Who knows?
We'll see.
Season 3.
Guys, I have to
All right, guys. Thanks. Cheers.
You too.